Albert Einstein once said, "It is a miracle that curiosity survives formal education." While the modern education system teaches a limited and recommended set of lessons. Welcome to my video on 5 money skills schools didn't teach you. In this video, I'll be discussing some essential money skills that schools don't teach you. I'll cover topics such as how to sell effectively, how to think critically, and face failure with resilience. I'm also give some inside statistics and how to budget and save your money. I'll also be discussing the power of compounding and everything you need to know about it. If you're tired of feeling like you're not in control of your finances, then this video is for you. I'll be sharing some valuable insights and tips that will help you take charge of your financial future. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of money skills.
Starting your own business requires selling, and even when you're interviewing for a job, you might be asked to sell the interviewer a pen or anything else. Although sales are a subject that is covered in schools, this does not guarantee success in the real world. According to estimates, 90% of new business startups fail because schools don't teach us how to do things practically.
Selling is very similar to fishing. Knowing what bait to use, where to place your line, and how to reel in your catch are all necessary skills. Similar to fishing, selling calls for perseverance, practice, and patience. To develop a product or service that meets their needs, you must comprehend your target market. You also need to be aware of what the market is looking for and what your rivals are offering. Once you've determined who your target audience is, you need to emotionally engage them by sharing a story or making an analogy. Keep in mind that the person you are selling to has needs, wants, and emotions. In a sales conversation, it's critical to establish trust and rapport. Now that you know how to sell effectively, let's move on to the next step. Thinking is a crucial aspect of starting your own business. It's about understanding your target audience, identifying their needs and wants, and providing them with a solution that meets their requirements. It's true that thinking is unique to everyone in the world. And many students do not know how to think wisely because schools do not teach and improve thinking skills. They teach you to learn and write them on exam papers by keeping lessons in your mind. However, thinking is more than just memorizing facts and figures. It's about understanding concepts, analyzing information, and making informed decisions. As Albert Einstein once said, "The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking." There are 6 types of thinking patterns: perceptual thinking, conceptual or abstract thinking, reflective thinking, creative thinking, critical thinking, and non-directed or associative thinking. Each type of thinking has its own unique characteristics and benefits. If you can think creatively and conceptually, the result will be awesome when you apply your concepts to work. Thinking is like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it will become weak and ineffective. Unfortunately, schools don't teach critical thinking skills as much as they should. They focus more on memorizing facts and figures rather than understanding concepts, analyzing information, and making informed decisions. This is because critical thinking is hard to teach and requires a lot of effort and practice. However, critical thinking is an essential skill that everyone needs to have in life. It helps you make better decisions, solve problems more effectively, and communicate more clearly. Just like exercising your muscles, practicing critical thinking regularly can help you become better at it over time. So, when our thinking pattern in correct way, we should face failure with confidently. How to face failure. One of the important life skills that school does not teach us is how to face failure. We all know that we face many failures from a young age due to competition in our society and environment. However, every school has this competition, and most students struggle with it. Also, many students fall into depression at school because of their failure. Then why such a competition in schools? The competition is everywhere, and it is essential to be because every new thing and solution come up with the competition. For example, if there were only one car company in the world, it would never produce electric cars because there are no competitors to increase their sales. Facing failure without proper training is like trying to swim in the ocean without knowing how to swim. You might be able to stay afloat for a while, but eventually, you'll get tired and drown. Similarly, if you don't know how to face failure, you might be able to handle it for a while, but eventually, it will overwhelm you. That's why it's essential to learn how to face failure effectively. Just like learning how to swim, facing failure requires practice and patience. You need to understand that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the journey. Every successful person has failed at some point in their life. By learning from your failures, you can turn them into stepping stones to success. Remember that giving up is the greatest failure. If you don't give up, you still have a chance. Now that you know how to think effectively, let's move on to the next step: budgeting and saving. It's great that you recognize the importance of saving money. Saving is a fundamental skill that can help you stay financially stable and achieve your financial goals. One of the first things you should do when you receive your paycheck is to set aside a certain percentage of that money for your future self. This could be for an emergency fund, retirement fund, college fund for your kids, or any other financial milestone that you want to achieve. While it's important to put money aside for necessities such as rent, transportation, utilities, insurance, and food, it's also important to save towards a certain milestone. There are many financial milestones that you could save for, but one of the first ones that everyone should strive for is having an emergency fund. Most people suggest having 3 months of living expenses saved up in an emergency fund. So if your monthly cost is $1,500, you would need $4,500 saved in your emergency fund to be financially sound. Once you've accomplished this first milestone, you should continue saving towards other big things such as saving for your retirement. The reason why we always want to be saving is that money has leverage. When we save that money, we can leverage it later on in the future for bigger and bigger things. The more skills you develop, the more you can earn and save. Even if you learn something small every day, those compound returns can translate into way more money later on. So now see magic skills, which are missing in schools, which is called compound interest. Compounding. Albert Einstein once said, "Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it." As we've seen, compound interest is a powerful tool for growing your wealth over time. Another thing that compounds well is your money when you invest it. To illustrate this, let's say you invest $10,000 at a 5% annual interest rate. After 1 year, you'll have $10,500. If you leave that money in the account and earn another 5% interest the next year, you'll have $11,025. The following year, you'll have $11,576.25. As you can see, the amount of interest earned each year increases because the interest is being compounded. As you can see, the only thing that really changed was the balance that we started with. That's why when you have a lot of money to work with, money becomes easier to make. These days, high-yield savings accounts are paying around 4% interest rates over the course of a single year. So theoretically, if you had $1 million in cash sitting around, you could get $40,000 a year virtually risk-free. This means that money, or capital as many people like to call it, scales really well or grows in proportion very easily. The more money we have, the easier it is to make, because money creates more money on itself. The goal then with our money is that it should get to a point where it's growing for us without us having to put in additional time or labor into it. And that's it for 5 money skills schools didn't teach you. I hope you found this video informative and insightful. Remember that selling, thinking, facing failure, budgeting, and saving are all essential skills that everyone needs to have in life. By mastering these skills, you can take control of your financial future and achieve your goals. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more informative videos like this one. Also, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching.